Daniel, close, close. Close.
So the bus! Do the bus!
Shut up. Okay, so Arthur and I, as the 6th and 7th co-president of this class, will now give our traditional co-president speeches, which together should take around 10 minutes. But this is, according to some here, this is already 9 minutes too long. So how much have we changed? So let's remember how we were 2 years ago and what we were doing. We had the summer classes, and already during these summer classes, people were starting to think about their teams. We're going to be a group of 31 students ready to tackle the MBA challenge. At orientation, Sharon and Annette were constantly saying, repeating, do not rush into teams. But it was too late. All the teams were formed by Saturday as Dr. Applebaum put the last nail in the coffin. We were a bunch of experienced and overstressed rookies, putting dozens of hours into the first assignments, accounting assignments that were worth a big 5%. Yeah. In that first week, we already lost 2 students. We were down to 20. And by the end of the first semester, we were still adjusting to the pace of the MBA. And we were working to make our team work together. And by January, we were down again 5 more students. We were down to 23 students. And now, at the end of the 2-year program, we are 22 graduate students who survived and have become friends. We've become more confident in ourselves. As Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. We are friends who've become more audacious. And together, as friends, we have both increased our knowledge and our ignorance. Today, together again, but this time as friends, we find ourselves at a new beginning, but all the richer for having worked together and known each other. New challenge awaits us. Again, as Mandela said, after climbing the great hill, one can only find many more hills to climb. But of course, there's no free lunch. No achievement comes without a cost. We are partners, not only in debt, but in our shared responsibilities to the schools. There are 2 aspects of responsibility. The first one is we must support the schools as alumni, or, if you wish, as investors. And second, the more difficult one, is to accept whether you do good or ill, is that what we do in the world will reflect on where we are from. Will reflect on our school, it will reflect on our program, and also reflects on our classmates. But more importantly, it will reflect on me. In summary, it means that we're responsible to each other as a family. I encourage you then to go out there and make our family proud. Let's go out there to make our school proud. And let's go out there to make the world a richer place. Thank you.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Daniel. I know it wasn't easy for you, and I really appreciate your everything. All right. In thinking about what to say this evening, I was reminded of the words of the great comedian Lily Tomlin, who said, "I always wanted to be somebody, but now I realize I should have been more specific." My fellow MBA graduates, I think it's safe to say that without exception we came to this path 2 years ago because we were at a crossroads, because we sensed a longing for something more. Was it to move ahead in our careers? On average, we've been working about 15 years, most of us successfully. What more did we need? Was it to network? We already have networks in our own professions. Was it to gain knowledge? We are experienced professionals, some with advanced degrees. What more could we possibly learn that experience itself could not teach us about business and working? If it wasn't for careers, or networks, or knowledge, what was the purpose of the past 2 years? I think this graduation ceremony gives us a hint. It reminds us forcefully, and with our whole selves, that to be educated means so much more than gaining knowledge, that we have become more than the abstractions we have wrestled with. Education comes from the word to educe, which, according to Webster's, is to draw out as a form, quality, or law conceived to be present in a latent, potential, or undeveloped state. The poet, Matthew Arnold, said about those who read the ancient writers that they want to educe and cultivate what is best and noblest in themselves. They know, too, that this is no easy task. If we have not, over the past 2 years, educed and cultivated what is best and noblest in ourselves, if we have not attempted to reach beyond what we thought possible of ourselves, then we are just 2 years older. After many years in the workforce, we returned to school. No easy task. Ostensibly to study business, but found that we were studying ourselves instead, seeing what we already knew or learned in a new way. If we achieved any success in this endeavor, it was to the degree that we educed the potential and value of what we already knew and learned and gave it meaning. This is not knowledge. This is called wisdom. In his latest book, Drive, Daniel Pink has called the past decade a period of truly staggering underachievement in business, technology, and social progress. It's not for lack of knowledge. God knows we know things. But the pressures of short-term thinking and the idiocy of self-centeredness have caused great damage. The past 2 years of recession have amply demonstrated this fact, let alone the current oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, an unfolding demonstration of an all too common state of affairs in management in the absence of leadership. The world of business, indeed the world itself, needs wisdom. Otherwise, we are, as the ancient rabbis said, asses laden with books. Wisdom, as Peter Drucker would tell us, is the ability to see what is visible but not seen. Sooner or later, we may find ourselves in a leadership role, but this privilege is also a danger. The temptations to cater to the lowest common denominator are great and subtle. The most obvious is the quarterly financial statements. In a world where both individual and institutional investors hold on to their shares on average about 8 months, while still expecting a decent return, it takes leadership to still invest earnings for the future. In a world where cost rather than value is the main consideration, the pressure to cut corners is immense. In a world where money and business are the dominant forces in our time, where we are more likely to confess our sins to our accountants and our lawyers rather than our priests, then all value and all people become measured only in terms of dollars. It takes wisdom of a special kind and a strong sense of who we are and what we stand for to resist and to understand the difference between what money can and cannot buy. If we have met the challenges of our education with diligence and sincerity, we can bring to business a new spirit of excellence, responsibility, and leadership. These are not just words, the words are important. As educated graduates, it is our task and our vocation to take the ideals that these words represent, and from this day forward, make them live in the specifics of each of our lives, at work and at home. Lily Tomlin also said, "I always wondered why somebody doesn't do something about that. Then I realized I was somebody." Thank you very much.